They do, but they lead. Central America and South America, you can make more in one day in North Charleston than you can maybe in 6 months in Central America and South America. People come to this country illegally for prosperity. We need to control who comes to this country for our own prosperity. So my answer to you and every other person who's worried about this, if you think you can build a fence and say we're done, we're not. We got to deal with the jobs. We got to deal with access to the country. We need workers. Now I'm going to be honest with you. How many people here want their children to work in a chicken processing plant? Not because we're lazy. We're looking up the economic ladder. Your family served in the military. Everybody but a Marine. We left the Marines out. Americans are looking up the ladder. But the jobs that we need done still need to be done. Harvesting the crops, plucking the chickens, doing the tourism jobs so vital to South Carolina. There are people in other parts of the world that could come here and work and make a living and enrich themselves and enrich our country, but they should be a temporary worker. They should learn English. They should pay taxes. They should obey our laws. It could be a win-win. And if you don't look at it in all of its moving parts, you're going to wake up one day with a fence and 20 million people. I want to wake up one day with control over a problem that's a threat to our culture, a threat to our society, and I don't consider you radical for wanting to finish it and fix it. What I want to do is not lie to you about what I think is going to take to fix it. 3 or 4 things, not just one.
First of all, in response to the poultry thing, everything, 20 years ago that used to be a pretty decent paying job. What's happened is because of the illegals, they're paying them a lot less. And let's keep in mind, a lot of these folks also carry contagious diseases. Let's keep that in mind. And processing raw meat is a great way to pass the tuberculosis on. Anyway, right. But for a lot of people, they still support a family on that. And, you know, a lot of it isn't about tampering with IDs. Employers deliberately go and pick up illegals and hire for the day and pay them under the
Some of them, absolutely.
And that being said,
absolutely.
you talked about our open borders and we can't afford this, and yet a few months ago, you worked with Ted Kennedy and McCain to pass that massive amnesty. And it's amnesty, folks. Amnesty isn't giving people citizenship. Amnesty is forgiving a person of their crime.
You know what amnesty is?
If you forgive
doing
a
what we're
person
doing.
for crossing the border and allow them to stay and work, that's amnesty. Now, I want to come at this at a woman's point of view. Folks, they don't prosecute for rape in Mexico. And I have traveled extensively throughout Mexico. And I have been treated like dirt in this country from illegals. I have been growled out coming out my front door. They were painting at our apartment complex. I filed a complaint. They wouldn't do anything about it. I have been spit on when I lived in Vail. I lived in Vail 12 years ago, and 25% of the Vail Valley did not speak English 12 years ago.
Could you speak up a little?
I lived in Vail Valley 12 years ago, and 25% of the Vail Valley 12 years ago couldn't speak English. When I was running, and illegals spit on me. I had a couple of them follow me home. Folks, this is what I don't understand with the Senate. I'm so sick and tired of amnesty keeps coming up. It should never come up again. You want to grant amnesty to millions of men with an attitude that it's okay to rape. Over 45,000 Americans have been killed since September 11th by illegals. Far outnumbered. Let me finish.
No.
And if you grant amnesty, these men can become police officers.
You've said some things that I completely disagree with. And you need to hear this from me. There is no one group of people in this world that is just all bad.
I didn't say that.
Well, no, that's exactly what you said. You said that people who are illegal are the only ones that, you know, they're mean people who are illegal. They're mean people who are illegal. And I'm not going to live a life around scaring people.
Well, I'm a woman.
Well, let me tell you, there are plenty of women
right
here.
Right outside my front door, he could have pushed me into my apartment and raped me.
Ma'am, what you're trying to do, in my opinion, is take an issue that's hard and make it easy. You're trying to take an issue that these are all the bad people. And if you don't watch it, they're going to adulterate your food, and they're going to rape your women, and they won't speak your language. How many people here came from another country? How many people who had a family who came from another country? My father came here from Scotland, my grandfather. We're a nation of immigrants. We're people that came from all over this world, and we become Americans. And the people you're talking about have broken our law, and they need to be punished, but all of us know it. How many people have looked the other way going down a golf course? How many people understand that who's building the houses around here? How many people understand who's plucking the chickens? Let me tell you about jobs. You know what it pays for a Batesburg, Leesville chicken processing plant job? $12 an hour. How many people think you can fill those jobs from the American workforce at $12 an hour? Go talk to the people down at Batesburg, Leesville. They're advertising these jobs. We got 4.5% unemployment. Republicans ought to be proud of the fact that we got the highest level of employment in the last 30 years. You know why we got the highest level of employment? Because we've cut your taxes. This idea that illegal workers are coming and taking everybody's job doesn't bear fruit. This is a strong economy. It's 14,000 stock market. I'm a Republican. I think you're dead wrong. I think this is a great economy. I think we need workers in the future on our terms, not theirs. And me and you just disagree about this problem. You know what amnesty is? Amnesty is the current system. Amnesty is a system where nobody seems to be paying a price. I would like it to work. It's never going to work trying to scare people. It's only going to work when we fix the problem.
Senator, can you talk about the war a little bit further and talk about the Blackwater issue?
Blackwater.
What's wrong, what's right, what needs to be done?
Blackwater, have you heard of the company?
Yes.
We got 180,000 people in Iraq that are civilians. The first war, we've had more civilians than we've had people in uniform. Why? Because we've got a military that's overstretched. Blackwater performs security for the ambassador. They perform all kind of jobs. What we need is to give the commanders in Iraq the abilities to prosecute people who commit crimes, whether they're civilian or military. And that was my amendment. My amendment was to allow the commander to discipline anybody who violates the law. We need contractors, but they need to follow the law, because when they do something bad, it reflects on everybody here in the military. I don't want a sergeant to be in a car and the contractor on the other side of the car commit a crime and the sergeant be confused about what he should do. So I want contractors to help us win this war, but I think they should be under the military's control.
You said you would vote for the fair tax if it came on the floor.
Yes.
Why is it the right thing to do then, but not now?
Because I don't agree with it versus the flat tax.
So
I'd rather do the flat tax.
Why would you vote for it then?
Because it means it made it through the committee and it came out, and I got a choice between the fair tax and the current system. But I'd rather do the flat tax personally. But if it got out of committee and it won the committee vote and it got on the floor, I'd be glad to vote for it, because my choice is the current system and the fair tax.
So wouldn't it be better to put your support behind something that's already got momentum?
Well, I don't see a whole lot of momentum for the fair tax. I really don't. I don't see much momentum for the flat tax. You know why? Because Mike Huckabee's the only one with any guts. John McCain needs to be talking about something. Romney needs to be talking about something. Fred needs to be talking about something. We need to be following Mike Huckabee's lead. If you believe in the flat tax, you ought to say, if I'm president, we're going to put it on the table. So I'm taking my hat off to Mike Huckabee.
Things as they are, in 10 years, Social Security and Medicare will grow.
Right.
My kids will either have no Social Security or they'll pay double tax if they do now. What are your plans? All
right, how many people own Social Security? How many people want to be on it?
Sometime.
All right, let me tell you my story about Social Security, then we'll end this thing. In 1976, my mother died. She was 52. She had Hodgkin's disease. My dad was 67. We always thought Dad would go first. Well, it don't work that way.